Yes, guys, I'm Si from Ace Podcast Nation. This is Cardiff City World. Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Cardiff City World for this special edition of the Breakdown Extra, as we ask the question, is the striker very heavily linked with finalising his deal to Cardiff City the answer to Cardiff's goal-scoring problems? It's difficult, because let's be perfectly honest, Cardiff City's record at signing strikers from overseas is not great. Not many, arguably, if any, have gone on to be a roaring success at Cardiff City. We've certainly had more luck historically with signing people from within the British pyramid, whether it's Scotland or the Championship, Premier League, whatever it may be. As the strikers who have come into the club from abroad have generally underwhelmed. There's been, maybe you could argue, Kenneth Zaho had a good season. Didn't do a lot after his move away from Cardiff. Of course, the famous Andreas Cornelius cost a lot of money, barely played, went on and was successful elsewhere. There's been many, Sorry Kaba, okay, yeah, I guess, his goals did help to keep us up that season. Small loan, did all right. We have a problem. We don't have strikers that can score goals at the moment. So what you have is Yaku Mete, who no one's quite sure if he's a winger or he's a striker. When he's a striker, his link-up plays good, he works hard, his finishing is poor. When he's a winger, he doesn't seem to have the pace to beat the man, and what we need is a goal scorer. Callum Robinson provides this, but unfortunately you can't solely rely on one striker. He also maybe doesn't have the build to fulfill the kind of target man role, but not necessarily you'd like to lump it up to him, but to play off. Whilst his link-up play when he drops into spaces is good, I think the club is probably looking for a different profile of striker. Now, I actually think as a team we look far better with a mobile striker like Callum Robinson than we do with a target man like a Mete or a Kanga or whoever. Obviously Kanga looks like he's going to go back. Mete, as we've discussed. Then you've got Tete, who's young, certainly not convinced either way really. So it remains to be seen what the plan is for him. Will they end up selling him? Will they send him out on a loan? Not quite sure. You of course have got Isaac Davis returning from injury, but with such a serious knee injury and someone whose pace is quite blistering, it will remain to be seen how that recovery goes, unfortunately, because it's such a bad injury. But hopefully he can be that guy, because I think the way that we set up, the way that we play, similar to Callum Robinson, is very, 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 very much suited to Isaac Davis through the middle. You've got Luke Pearce in the youngsters, you've got Reindorf, but you can't rely on the youngsters to score you the goals to keep you up. So who is Yousef Salech? Well, his name popped up in around lunchtime on Tuesday before the game. Difficult one to really predict. I'd be lying if I said I know loads about him. I've done a bit of research for the purposes of this video. Been checking out some of the things that the fans in Sweden are saying, and they seem to think quite highly of him if you play to his strengths. So going by what they're saying, his strengths are that he's a big lad, he's quite quick for his size, very good at heading, very good finisher, link-up plays okay, but he is a bit of a fox in the box. However, for Cardiff, you have to play to his strengths. So if he is going to be a guy who, if you put it in the box, is going to score goals, we have to get it in the box. We can't be messing about on the edge of the box trying to overplay. We need to put it in the box for him to cause a bit of havoc. I was surprised at how big he is, like, because he doesn't look that big when in the video clips. He doesn't look massive. He's 1.95 meters on the various websites, which works out about 6'4", maybe just under 6'5", which is that's a big old unit. Yousef Salech is 22 years old, 17th of January. Well, he's 22 tomorrow, in fact, I think. Born in Denmark. Currently plays for Sirius in the Swedish league. He signed for Bromby, who's or Bromboy, however you prefer to pronounce it, who's a very a big Danish side. They signed him 2021. He stayed there for a couple of years. He was very young, only made 9 appearances, didn't score. He had a couple of loan spells. So first and foremost, he had a loan spell at HB Korg, I think it's pronounced, which is a Danish team who are in the second tier or of Danish football. But he scored 15 goals in 24 games, which is an incredible rate. Now you can question the standard and etc., but you can only play what's in front of you. Now, that is a bit of an eye-opening period. 24 appearances, 15 goals. He then had a loan at Belgian side Sporting Bevering, where he made 16 appearances and only scored the 1 goal. So, could you say that the step up in quality, maybe he didn't get as many goals? I'm not sure. He then moved to the Swedish league, to Sirius. Now, Sirius, a real interesting club, really interesting, because they've got a habit of signing players, them doing well, and then them flipping them for a massive profit. So some of the figures that have been quoted that we're going to buy Yousef Salech for have been between 3 and 4 million. I've been told by a couple of people who are very close to the hierarchy within the club, very close within the club, and they tell me that it's nowhere near that figure. It's much more around it's under 1 million, shall we say. I'm sure that there's a load of add-ons which take it up to 3, 4, if we get promoted, if we avoid relegation, if he scores X amount of goals, makes X amount of appearances. And in my opinion, that's the best way to go. I really hope that not only have they built the transfer fee full of bonuses, should he be successful, but also his contract. I hope he's on a relatively modest wage, because our wage bill is a huge issue. So I hope he comes in on a relatively, modest wage with a load of incentive-based bonuses. There's something which I think the club should really switch to now, is a lower base wage. I'm sure they're not going to be struggling to pay the rent, these footballers, but let's do it as an incentive-based thing. So if the team succeeds, if the club succeeds, if the players succeed as individuals, they reap the financial rewards, as does the club. If they don't, then the club aren't stuck with the 5th highest wage bill in the Championship. So, back to Sirius. They are a Swedish club. They are about 118 years old, so they're around the same age as Cardiff, really. They are currently 9th of 16 in the Swedish Allsvenskan, which is the Swedish league, and is the top tier of the Swedish football system. He's got a pretty impressive record for them. He's made 27 appearances and he scored 11 goals. He only signed for them in February of last year and immediately hit the ground running. But again, what Sirius tend to do is they'll sign a player and then they add a sell-on clause, which is really, really a clever way to go. Because if the player then goes on to be successful, then they reap the benefits of that. But again, they're able to, and if he's not successful, they're not stuck with a massive fee. So I think they're clever, and they've got a real big record. They've sold a couple of players to Saudi, a couple of players around Europe. So they bring these young players in, they take a gamble on them, and then they move them on for untidy profit. So Yousef Salech, like I said, 22, 6'4"-ish. Obviously he's a big lad, but he's very, very strong in the air. Likes to put himself about physically. But what I noticed straight away from his clips is not many of his goals are from the outside of the box. A lot of them are goalmouth scrambles, crosses, one-on-ones with the keeper, things like that, like traditional between the posts, 18-yard area goal scorer. So of course on paper that sounds amazing, but let's not forget Wilfred Kanga's clips looked amazing. So I don't want to focus too much on that, but I think it's only fair that you look at his stats by club, and it's very clear that when he's been a happy player, he is a goal scorer. He's been a bit of a machine, and so he played a season at Bromby under 19s, 18 goals, 18 appearances, 16 goals, 5 assists. Now I'm not by any means saying that the Danish under 19s league is up there with the championship, and he would have been under 19. Obviously you can only play what you're in. Obviously he went to Beveren in Belgium, only scored the 1 goal in 19 games, but again he was young, finding his feet. Then he goes to HB Kogue, 25 games, 15 goals, 2 assists. It's a real big comeback. He then was also at Helvrip 1K, where he made 27 appearances, 7 goals, 3 appearances, and then finally Sirius with 29 appearances, 13 goals, 3 assists. He's definitely a goal scorer. Definitely a goal scorer. But I think what Cardiff must do, and so often we don't do this with these strikers who come along, is off the field we have to make him welcome. You have to make sure he's alright, you make sure he's settled. If he's got any family or partner or whatever with him, make sure they're settled, because a happy player off the pitch is more likely to perform on the pitch. He could be one for the future, but due to the situation that we are in, he is one for the now. We need him to hit the ground running, so we must play to his strengths. Now I'm a firm believer that the likes of Chris Willock, Ruben Colwell, Alex Robertson, Ollie Tanner, all of our really gifted attacking players have been crying out for someone to really play off and link up with and put the ball in the box for. Because if the defenders are worried about a 6'4" striker and the crosses coming in, the likes of Robertson, the likes of Colwell can arrive late, unmarked, and it can create spaces. But if we insist on trying to play to his feet with his back to goal 30 yards out, that's where I think we might struggle. Let's keep him between those posts, around the 18-yard box, let him cause a bit of chaos. It does seem like he's got a good attitude, and that is shown obviously by wherever he's been. He seems to have been really popular with the fans, really popular with the coaches. We must get the best out of him quickly, unfortunately, because it's the nature of the beast. We're in a relegation battle, and unfortunately when you look at it, like he's the same age as Ruben, he's the same age as, like, similar age to Atete and Tanner. He is a young player, and you want to give young players, particularly when they come from another country, you want to give them time, you want to let them settle. My worry is that he's going to come in, there's going to be rumours of big fees and all this. Because of the situation we're in, if he doesn't score straight away, if he doesn't hit the ground running and get a few goals straight away, people will get frustrated. They will, because there's already frustration with the recruitment and the club and everything, who recommended Kanga and all this sort of stuff. If he doesn't hit the ground running, I worry that people will get frustrated, and it becomes very difficult for him and toxic for him. It's a real interesting signing, I've got to say. On paper and clips, I can absolutely see why that he has caught the eye. We do lack someone with that sort of physical presence up front. There's no way we're paying 3 or 4 million for him as an upfront payment, or that's how much we're paid. Simply because it doesn't make any sense. If you think about it, 3 to 4 million gets you Ricky J. Jones, gets you Al Hamidi from Ipswich, both of whom we've got a registered interest in, both of whom have got championship experience and done quite well at the championship. So it makes no sense to take a risk on a young striker from the Swedish league if that same money would get you someone who's proven in the championship of a similar age. So that says to me straight away that it's probably a much lower fee up front, based on a lot of incentive based bonuses with the fee. So it might go up to 4 million, but if it goes up to 4 million, it'll probably mean he's scored a shed load of goals, Cardiff have stayed up, got promoted, etc. So I'm excited, to say the least. We needed a striker, we've gone and got one. Yes, it's taken till mid-January, but you've got to look on the positive sides. Hopefully no problems with his medical, and by the time this video comes out he might well be announced anyway, and he can be in that squad for Saturday. There is some questions which go with it. What does this mean for Rocco Simic? What does this mean for Yaku Mete? What does this mean for Atete, Kanga? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. My personal opinion is I'd be willing to sell Mete. I'd be willing to send Kanga back. I'd look to loan Atete. With Isaac Davis coming back, I think Isaac will kind of jump ahead of him in the pecking order once he gets up to speed. You've also got Reindorf coming back, although I'm led to believe he's going out on loan as well. So I suppose you can't kind of sell them all. You need lots of choices. Luke Pearce is impressed though, I think. Good to see him on the bench the other day. There's no doubt Cardiff City have to move some players out, but it'll be interesting who that is now and how they're moved out and how quickly. I still believe that there's a slim chance that we might get another winger type forward on loan before Saturday, but there's definitely no guarantees. We're certainly looking. If I had to speculate and guess, I'd say the most likely one would be Jaden Dans on loan, but obviously he's been linked with a host of other championship clubs. He's a very good young striker, but I think the more options that we can have, the better. We need goals, so having a young striker come in and hit the ground running is important, but having like a Jaden Dans come on loan who's desperate to prove themselves, or some young wide players who can add pace to that attack. And this is what we need now, is we need runners off Yousef Salech to really utilise his skill set. We need to get in behind the fullbacks and get the ball in the box to him. Let's provide him with chances. Since Rhys has taken over, we've certainly created a lot more chances. We just haven't been taking them, by and large. So it's important now for Yousef Salech, for Cardiff City, for everyone involved, that we keep creating those chances, and hopefully he can put them away. I'm excited, always am when you see a new striker come in. I'd be lying if I said I was fully confident that he's the guy, but I can certainly see elements of his skill set and his attributes and his statistics that give me hope. Keep the faith, my friends, and I'll see you tomorrow night for the preview, and I'll see you Saturday morning. Take care.
How we doing, Bluebirds fans? Graham Kavanagh here, former player and captain in 2001 to 2005, I think it was. Well, I don't think it was, I know it was. Brilliant times, brilliant part of my career. I remember signing for the club, and the support and the welcome I got was just incredible. From the very first moment walking through the door, I could feel the sense of pride and the love that the fans and the club meant everybody in the city and around the city and the valleys and everywhere else. Incredible football club, incredible people. Absolutely loved my time there. And obviously to cap it all off for the promotion there at Wembley was just the stuff dreams are made of. To be captain, to lift the trophy and to feel the warmth and the love from everybody at the club and from all the people in the stadium was just absolutely amazing. Obviously it ended short for me because of a fire sale, if you like, but we'll never ever forget my time there. My son was born in Cardiff. We all still love the city, we love the people, and we'll never ever have anything other than love, respect and support for the football club and the city. So wishing everyone a very Merry Christmas, and I will hopefully see you all soon. Alright, take care.